At first I thought it was a phase, now I'm starting to think it's becoming an addiction. I signed another Uruguayan wonder kid to start the season. Ignacio Perez, another fantastic Uruguayan youngster, another fantastic prospect for the future. And suddenly, between Trinidad, Perez and Santiago, we've got a new contingent, a new generation of Uruguayans here at Guernsey. Just makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Today we are going to be starting season number 16, and well, technically I've already started the season. Today though, first game in the Champions League, and this game here, Manchester United, a trip to Old Trafford awaits. Manchester United, the last couple of seasons, have not been very good. Gonna hope we can get one over on them today. I am afraid to say our first Champions League game isn't an away day, but we are taking on FK Astana of Kazakhstan. They have a betting sponsor on their badge. That must be a first. Their key man is Pelmard Bassi. I mean, compared to some of the teams who took on in the Conference League, Astana don't really scare me that much, he says. I'm sure it's going to be fine, right? Plenty to get stuck into today. We have already started the season. We're going to talk about those first two games, talk a little bit about how the squad's shaping up, but not before we run the intro. Let's get into things. Yes, gang, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. Welcome back today to episode number 118 of Park to Prem. If you are enjoying the series, if you are excited for the new season, do slap a like on the video. It genuinely does help out. I know I always say at the end of videos, I know the analytics, I see the stats. Not everyone makes it to the end of videos, so I'm going to mention it nice and early today. And you know what? Speaking of nice early starts, let's talk about this. This first game of the season against Everton, a 3-1 emphatic win. Montero, goal and an assist. Very, very excited. Now, you'll know if you watch the transfer specials, we have invested big in the squad this year. Good news, we got off to the best possible start. Worth noting, our stand behind the goal that you can see, currently being built, so that's exciting. Of course, that expansion work's set to be done halfway through this year. We got a nice early goal. We then scored another, a bit fortunate about how it's deflected, but Montero scored and Archer assisted. The two Brentford lads getting in on the action, and then Montero with a pass that I think was meant for Alanis, but Diallo got there. Goalkeeper was in no man's land. Made it 3-0. Sadly, I say sadly, we couldn't keep a clean sheet. That is sad. On the positives, I don't have to pay out any clean sheet bonuses, and we still got the win. So, silver linings. And in fact, the other game we played to start the season, this one here, 3-0 win over Southampton away from home. Sweeney with 2 from, well, our new corner taker. Montero already has 3 assists in 2 games at the club. He got 3 assists in the entirety of last season at Brentford. So, I mean, for £65 million, we might have got a bargain. This here, though, was a really, really good performance. Great to see Craig Sweeney popping up with a couple. Diallo getting in on the action as well. He's had a great start to the season. 2 goals and an assist, although you might be a little surprised to see him playing so much. And the reason that he's been involved so much is unfortunately due to some pre-season injuries. Now, Alanis got a twisted ankle early on in pre-season, did start the most recent game, but didn't start against Everton. Good news, though, he is fit and raring to go today. Chapman, I'm sure he's desperate to play against his former club in Manchester United. You can see here, fitness test not required, so fingers crossed, touch wood, he's going to do well. I was going to start him because of how well Diallo's done, though. I feel like I can't drop him. However, there is some slightly less fortunate injury news today. Firstly, Manny Wilford's injured. How bad is it? Well, I'll tell you, he's not broken his back. He has pulled knee ligaments. Out for 9 days to 3 weeks. Not available for this game here against Manchester United. And the other man who's missing, Danny Archer, new right back, was buzzing about a new right back. Said, we're not going to need a backup right back anymore. No, we definitely do. Archer here, injured for 4 to 5 weeks. It hurts. It hurts so much to look at. Archer did get an assist in his first game for the club, so off to a good start, but naturally, when your £85 million man gets injured for over a month, it's not great. Now, just speaking on the transfer front, I already mentioned the fact we have picked up Perez, of course, another Uruguayan picked up. Besides his addition, hasn't really been anything going on at the club. Our squad size is a little on the larger side, but it's comparable to last year. Ultimately, there just wasn't more interest in any of our players. We kind of wrapped up last episode and I felt pretty content with how things were looking. There were no surprise rogue transfer bids that kind of left me scratching my head. It was all very straightforward to end the transfer window, really. I say that knowing that actually the transfer window closes in a couple days' time, but given our transfer budget, given our wage budget, don't suspect we're going to be signing anyone. Now, like I already mentioned, this first game against Manchester United is going to be a first real test for the season, and I did about playing the three at the back system, but given how we've started the year, I feel like I just want to play my best 11 that I can. And this is the team we're going to go with. Of course, Manny Wilford injured means that Francisco is going to play. Just a reminder, when he plays 20 league games being the crucial thing there, he has to get paid £84,000 a week. And after 25 league games, 115,000. You might be sat there wondering, how many games has he played so far? And the answer to that is 8. So if Manny Wilford could avoid getting injured, that'd be great. I do not want to play Francisco 12 times in the league this year. Otherwise, he gets paid an unreasonable amount of money. Now, like I already mentioned, of course, Archer out at right back means that Rojas is going to come back in and play at the heart of our defence in that right wing back area. Elsewhere in the team, the only other change, as I mentioned as well, Diallo. Great start to the season. Was playing out on the left side, cutting in on his right foot. For us today, he is going to be playing out on the right-hand side. He's been amazing. Of course, he came in when Chapman got injured, and, well, Chapman is going to have to wait for his first start at the club, because he's not getting it here against his former side. Naturally, if he wants to come on off the bench and score against his former club, that would be appreciated. Elsewhere, Alanis did start the last game, hasn't scored yet this season, but we're persevering with the 19-year-old, who, by the way, still is not capped for Mexico. Outrageous. So we are going to jump straight into this game. Worth noting, the game that we have against Astana is actually the other side of an international break. We have got Norwich in between, but we've done the Norwich away day. And with respect to Delia Smith's Norwich, not very sexy as far as football teams go. Now, historically, we have got the edge over Manchester United on a few occasions. I'd love to get the edge over them here. And well, Montero, back post cross, and I think that's Rios who's hit the outside of the post. It's a good early chance. Of course, in Montero, we have now got a properly designated set-piece taker. Last year, JV did an okay job for us. I'm expecting even bigger things from Montero. And while speaking of the devil, here he is linking up the play, giving it to Lemos, who loses the ball. Doherty trying to play forward to Ribera. Benjaloun now playing it down the far side. Ribera inside, options queuing up in the middle. We're going to need to do some defending, and Francisco is going to need to do some saving, but he is up to the task. Cadman with the ball, dinks it forward towards Alanis, who can't get there. I tell you what, he can get there, but he can only put it wide. That was a chance. In terms of my expectations for this season, truth be told, just solidifying a Champions League spot every year now is kind of the aim, I think, for the next year or two. We've got a young squad. It's a squad that's going to develop. As the reputation grows, as our attendances grow, we might have a little bit more money to play with and go for big signings like we did this year just gone. Like I already mentioned, this year, if I want to get Champions League football, these are the kind of games we need to do well in. We're a goal down after 15 minutes. It's not ideal. Last year, the thing that really cost us was an inability to beat the teams, and in fact lose to the teams, more importantly, in and around us at the top of the kind of Champions League and Europa League ladder. And I did talk last year about going to the three at the back system, but to start this year, I was stubborn. I stuck with a 4-2-3-1. I'm hoping we're not going to live to regret it. We've got plenty of attacking talent. And while we are on the attack here, as Jamfi tries to pick out a man in the middle, and then the highlight just ends. Don't know what we've been shown there or why we've been shown it, but I'm upset. 10 minutes left of this first half. Manchester United created one really good opportunity. Besides that, they've not done a great deal. We haven't done a great deal either. We've not had a whole lot of the ball. I'm going to look to go a little bit more direct with our passing. Have also noticed Diallo has picked up a knock, and I think we all know what that means. That means we're bringing in Chapman. We signed him for 40 million from Manchester United. He is going to have a bee in his bonnet, a point to prove. Not only has he been benched, but he's playing against the team that he was sold from last year. Of course, he was last year Manchester United's second top goal scorer. Maybe I should have brought him on sooner, although we are still in the first half. But with Diallo injured, if they were to get another, having seen the build-up play happen in and around Diallo, I might be kicking myself. Ward bringing the ball forward for them, plays it forward to Benjaloun, options in the middle, and they have carved us open like a Christmas turkey. not good defensively. What I think we're learning here is free-at-back system with wing-backs, maybe we should be using against the big boys, especially away from home. I don't necessarily think it's a system that would get us back now in a game where we're 2 goals down, because it's not really that kind of system. But naturally, we are now 2 goals down. I'm throwing a water bottle. Some players look stressed, don't care. I am just thinking with the injury to Diallo, it's a convenient excuse to go to the free-at-the-back system, because that kind of right-sided player is the player who I would more than likely kind of most commonly take off when I want to make this change. In terms of how we'd line up with the system change, we'd look like this. Now, as I already mentioned, I want to give Chapman some game time here. Addons hasn't had a great start to the season. He's struggling a little bit with fitness anyway, so I think we'll take him off here. Chapman and Cadman, the 2 Englishmans in the final third. We're going to hope they can make something magical happen. We need some goals. I'm more keen than anything to see how this system does defensively, but as the half progresses, I will look to try and get 2 goals here, but 15 minutes, try out this system, see if it was a mistake not to start with it. If we concede immediately, I'll probably just do more subs and go back to the 4 at the back. Just as a little reminder as well, this is the exact formation that got us promoted to the Premier League once upon a time when we were predicted to finish bottom of the Championship. This is a system that I think can really work well against the big boys. In games where we are the underdog, a team with not a load of expectation on our shoulders, but more than anything, just a situation where the other team are going to come and attack us, and they are going to leave themselves open at the back. We look to get loads of men behind the ball. We're happy to let them have possession, and we look to get it forward to the fast players in the final third. What I will say is, in the first 20 minutes of the second half, nothing has happened. We're going to make some changes. Montero, go to centre attack in mid, mate. I am going to bring in Alunga to play at Regista. Elsewhere, Gianfi's going to come off, I think, for... we'll go with Buyak. And I have 1 sub left. Cadman, you've disappointed me. Big Knot, on you come. Another thing I talked about towards the end of last season was the fact that in previous years, when we've had European competitions, and as a general habit when I play Football Manager, I kind of like to have a European team and a Premier League team, and we'll alternate the 2 sides. This year, I would like to mix and match a little bit more. I think we've got the squad depth where we don't have to have 2 separate squads. We can afford to change things up. In terms of how this second half has gone, there has been absolutely no highlights, but it is still only 2-0. Now, do you put this down to Manchester United being defensive, being maybe a bit more conservative, or is this down to the system being great? I'll be honest, I feel like I've learned nothing from this game, and we've lost 2-0. Silver lining, Rodrigo Montero, best performer. Not so silver lining, the gold lining, the black lining. What's a bad... The grey lining. He's on a 7.3. So is that even a good rating, really? First defeat of the season. With that result, you can see Liverpool go top, Tottenham in second, but have already slipped up themselves. In fact, most teams in the league have already dropped points, which after 3 games just kind of emphasises how close this Premier League is. Diallo stubbed his toe, out for 4 to 7 days. Good news, like I already mentioned. We've got an international break, so maybe Manny Wilford will be cured by the time we take on Astana. I say cured like we're going to bring a shaman into the club to help with knee ligaments. I don't think that's an option in Football Manager. That was such a weird game against Manchester United. I kind of feel flat after it. There was nothing to get excited about. We never really looked like scoring. The second half just whizzed by. And I don't even know if we really learned anything. Now, like I already mentioned, we are going to do the game against Astana. It's our first game in the Champions League. It's against a team from Kazakhstan. It's not really what I expected, but it's what we've been dealt with. Let's see how we get on, shall we? Okay, folks, we're back. Game number 2, taking on a team from Kazakhstan in the Champions League. That's not who I thought our opening game was going to be against going into this. Probably should acknowledge our other Champions League games. Because I know full well the away day ultras out there, you away day fans, you're going to want to know what games might be coming up. Let me tell you, Roma away, Konyaspor away, Atleti, Leipzig. I'll tell you what, when you look through our teams, we really need wins in these earlier games because it does not get any easier the more I look at that schedule. That's actually an awful schedule, isn't it? I thought with this many teams, 32 teams or however many teams it is, it'd be an easy draw. It's awful. What wasn't awful, though, was our performance against Norwich. We won this game 3-0. Alanis played amazing. Lemos played great. Cadman with an assist. And you can see here, Cadman continuing to improve. His pace has now gone up to 16, so he's looking that little bit better. And elsewhere, I did speak into existence. Alanis He's got his first cap for Mexico. Didn't score on his debut, but he's got his hat. He's wearing it. He's proud. I'm proud of him. In a little bit of unfortunate news over the international break, Roberto Rojas, he's injured for 10 days to 4 weeks. That is my first choice right back and my second choice right back injured. So Ganino, happy Christmas, you're playing at right back today. Now, I don't want to rotate things too aggressively for this game, but it's a squad game. We need to use the squad. With that in mind, Sweeney, McKillop, Diallo and Sula, 4 players we're going to bring into the fray alongside Ganino in a semi-rotated team. Good news, Wilford back from injury. He did play against Norwich as well. So for Francisco, who of course is hoping that our other goalkeeper gets injured so that he can earn his payday, he only made 1 league appearance. So we've still got 10 league appearances we can give him before the wages are a problem. I hope Manny Wilford doesn't get injured again, although with Manny Wilford, probably should acknowledge, he is injury prone, so maybe I should have brought a new goalkeeper, but the transfer window's closed now, so it's too late for that. I am terrified today that we're taking on Astana, and I'm going to call them Astana Dragons. They're not called Astana Dragons. Astana Dragons are an old Counter-Strike team, which is a video game for people who don't follow Counter-Strike or esports in general. So yeah, if I call Astana Dragons, you know what's happened. Here it is though, with the Champions League. It's arrived here at Guernsey. Look at our beautiful stadium. Just ignore the end where there's a building site. With the exception of the Manchester United result, I feel like it's been an okay start to the season so far. We've won convincingly against the teams we should be beating. This is a game that I've earmarked as a must-win game. If we want to make it through in the Champions League, this is the easiest game of the lot. We need to win it, and so halfway through this first half, to not have even seen a highlight is somewhat concerning. That said, maybe I've spoken it into existence. Giamfi takes down the ball, lays it inside to Sweeney. Little give and go on this near side. Giamfi, option down the line in Diallo, who's had a great start to the season. Can he turn productive here? Giamfi with it now, pulls it in. Sula, shot blocked. Great stop by the keeper. 10 minutes left of this first half. It's 0-0. Is it bad that I'm getting nervous? We should be winning this game. We've spent like £200 million this summer. Where's the product? I mean, there's one of the products. Montero, Diallo, tries to play it forward. It's not great. Alanis trying to apply some pressure. Do force a turnover in possession as Rios steps out with the ball. Sula, Ganino on the overlap, filling in at right back, pulls it across. I don't know how Alanis hasn't scored there. Half-time in this game, 0-0. The XG story paints a story. The issue with this story is we've not scored the 1.89 goals that we deserve, allegedly. We've not scored 1 goal that we deserve. So I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy. I'm looking at Alanis. I'm looking at Diallo. I'm looking at Sulla. I think, I'm going to sub them all off. Cadman, you can go up top. Big Knot, you're going to play out on the left, cutting in on your right foot. And Ethan Chapman, come in, play on the right-hand side, cut in on your left foot. Hopefully have more of an impact than you did in the last game. I let all the continental players onto the pitch, but this is a British Brexit job now. Get the English attackers on. Or something, I don't know. Good news with it being all our English players now on the pitch. No penalties in the group stage. We can't bottle it, can we? Montero, can we make something happen here? Back post, Rios heads over. I've just noticed their goalkeeper is on an 8.1. Who is their goalkeeper? Jorge Augusto. He's 19. I mean, he looks okay. He's on loan from Lyon. This man's on fire. We've created so much in this game. We've not had many chances against us. I don't really want to change anything. It's one of those games where you're just hoping that eventually the pressure is going to result in something. That cross just hit the crossbar, I think, by the way. Chapman still has it in a dangerous area. Okay, Ethan Chapman, very good first goal. Needed that first goal. Breathe a sigh of relief, everyone. Chapman picks up the ball here in an area where he had a lot to do, skips past his man and then just smashes in at the near post. A bit greedy, perhaps, but sometimes you need to be greedy as a goal scorer. Might need to do some defending here. We've not had to do a lot of defending in this game, so as soon as there's a throw-in being launched into our box, you have to feel a little nervous. That said, we have dealt with it here, and now it's Ganino stepping out with the ball. He's going to dink it forward. Tolabayev reads it though, and now it's with Jorge Alberto launching it long. Rios takes it down with snow on it. How was that first touch, by the way? Sensational. Chapman trying to pick out Lemos, who I must admit has been really disappointing to start this season. I mean, I've said he's disappointing, and if he'd scored, I look like an idiot. Now he's missed. Exhibit A. He's useless. In fact, you know what? I'm going to sub him off. Manasiev. Is this Manasiev's debut? This might be Manasiev's debut. It is his debut, right? Victor Manasiev. Do you want to play him as a shadow striker? You know what? I think you do. I know he can't concentrate, but he's 18. I couldn't concentrate when I was 18, so I can't blame him. I mean, 1-0 is a win, but goal difference would be good to get onside, I feel like, in this competition, especially because they could still get a goal back. Manny Wilford, it's the first save I feel like he's had to do all game, but he has made it. I would love to start our first Champions League campaign with a win. It would ease the nerves a little bit, albeit in a game that we really should be winning. Obviously, Roma up next away from home is not going to be an easy game by any stretch of the imagination. Not looking forward to that one already, but knowing the other games we've got on the horizon, much more established kind of Champions League teams we're going to be taking on. So games like this one, we need to get results in. At the moment, our finishing, I feel like, has let us down massively. The one silver lining, which I'm going to kind of hold on to, is the fact that although our finishing has been, well, subpar in this game, I don't think it's going to cost us. I shouldn't be saying anything. There's still action going on here. Cadman heads it forward. There's no one there. Sati Baldiev. Was that Sati Baldiev? We'll go with it. Must be a traditional Kazakhstani name. They're on the attack. That wasn't in the penalty area, ref. It's a free kick. It's 100% a free kick, referee. Lusipov, more like Diverpov. Did you see him go down? It went down like he'd been shot, like a sack of potatoes. Imagine if that had been given as a penalty. That would have been really awkward. Jamfi will pick up a booking for his troubles. I'm going to give a shout of demand more with 2 minutes left. We need to play better. I'll tell you what, that was very close to being in the penalty area. There's a set piece here that we do need to deal with. There's a free man at the back post. Number 33 is all on his own. Oh my word, they've hit the crossbar. Montero gets it away. I can't look. Get it out the box. Don't foul him, though. Do not foul him. They could have actually equalised. Can you imagine? I don't want to imagine. I was going to say, could you imagine? No, I don't want to imagine. I still don't feel safe. End the highlight, Football Manager. Let me breathe. This is not fun anymore. I just want to get a win in the Champions League. Sweeney heads it away. Rios gets it away. That has to be it. The ball's going forward. Kuchin into the box. The players queuing up in the middle. We block the cross. It still makes its way, though, to Kabdulov. He crosses it. McKillop gets it away. Okay, breathe. 4 minutes of added time. No thank you. We've got a set piece here. Jamfi whipping it in. Sweeney was there, but it's headed away to McKillop. At this point, I'm content for us to keep the ball in their half. We don't need to score another. I'm not that bothered by it. I just want the game to end. I just want 3 points. The ball's in the back of the net. What's gone on here? Chapman's offside. I guess he scored an offside goal. This can't be a real highlight, can it, to end the game? I mean, it can be a real highlight for us. That's fine. I just don't want them to score. Gaisliev with the ball, playing it down the line. This doesn't look good, does it? Ball in. Rios heads it away. Jamfi can't get it away. Just lump it long. What are you doing, you melon? I'm stressed. Can you tell? Okay, Chapman's got the ball. Breathe a sigh of relief. Just run for the corner, mate. Big knot. 15 seconds left. I think we've done enough. Have I been convinced by this? Absolutely not. We could still get another goal here. Jamfi's cross or shot was blocked. Doesn't matter. Full-time whistle's going to go. I hope it is going to go. 1-0. We've won. I did not enjoy that. And despite a game where you look at the stats, you look at the XG story and think, that must have been comfortable. No, it bloody wasn't. That game was more stressful than it had any right to be. I mean, Manisiev made his debut. I don't think he did anything in that game. Elsewhere, by the way, Sebastian Flegard playing for Rangers. Remember, we've loaned him out to Rangers? Great to see him play not only for them in the first team, but also in the Champions League. This is going to be really, really valuable first-team football. The kind of player who I have a few question marks over his potential, but if he's playing Champions League football with Rangers, that value looks rather healthy. We're going to be in a position to cash in on him if he doesn't develop. Now, given the fact we are in the Champions League this year, I do want to do some of the European away days. And looking further ahead, our game against Roma is 2 weeks away. I think we will come back for that game next time. I might even double it up with the game against Konyaspor. You know, we'll do a Champions League double header. 2 away days for the price of 1. When I look at the upcoming league games, with the exception of Newcastle, things look rather straightforward. And in fact, looking at our schedule this season, the end to the season looks awful. I didn't really talk about this before. Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, Man City, Tottenham, Man United and Newcastle United. That is not an easy set of closing games. So when we have runs of, well, more winnable games like we do at the moment, we do need to capitalise on them. I'd be very interested to know down in the comments, for the game against Roma, would you be playing the 4-2-3-1? Would you be going to the free centre-back formation? I'm leaning more towards the latter, which I'm going to do though. You'll have to tune in next time to find out. Like I mentioned at the start of today's video, if you did enjoy it, do make sure to drop a like on the video. It does help out massively. Thank you for your support. We're back tomorrow with more Park to Prem action, and until then, it's me, Jack, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.